process on Mars is the latest terraforming reports indicate progress is still decades away. This comes with the news of the first successful terraforming operation in the colonies on New Harmony. Martians frustrated with the United Nations have taken to the streets within their domes, demanding additional resources be allocated. The population on Mars has massively increased in recent years thanks to the discovery of mineral wealth less than a decade ago. However, promises made by the United Nations continue to be broken, and some feel Mars should do more to ensure its own future in these times. Hello and welcome back to Aurora. Now, before we get into today's episode, I do want to say a few things. Number one, all these episodes leading up until the 19th of December will be pre-recorded. So keep that in mind. That's because I will have less time as it's getting busy this time of year. And so if you do comment, of course, that those changes or those suggestions will not be implemented in the next episode. So please keep that in mind. Next, where we were last episode. Well, we had expanded to 99 Ceti and we have kind of colonized in all directions of space till the 40 systems discovered. In today's episode, I want to do two things. I want to design a next generation servercraft, which I kind of already have done here with our Mark 1 sensor probes and also our nuclear gas core engines, which are more efficient than our previous engines, which gives our ship now a range of 106 billion kilometers. So we're going to get these into design. We just need to get the engine and the military drum drive done, and then we can go for that. We'd also were considering the cruiser, or not the cruiser, the battleship versus the carrier option, and it was close, but I think the carrier did win, so we're going to be going for the carrier. And I've already begun research into a hangar deck, or at least I should have already done research. Let me just do that now. There we go. So once that's done, we're able to get a hangar deck going, and then that will allow us to start looking at design because our shipyard is nearly ready to go at 60,000 tons. Now, a 60,000 ton carrier is not the best. Generally speaking, carriers in Aurora 4X are 33 to 40% hangar deck. So realistically speaking, we're talking about 20,000 tons to 23,000 tons of hangar deck space. Now, that's enough for probably about 60 fighters, depending on the size of the fighters, of course. We're looking at probably 400 tons, I would say, per fighter. That's kind of what I want to go for. Generally speaking, the bigger the carrier, the better. But it should work out for our needs because there are two main benefits to a carrier. Obviously, long-distance power projection and strike capability. And then second, point defense capability, because we can outfit fighters with railguns and they can provide additional point defense fire. So we'll be looking at doing that design. Economically speaking, we are blasting ahead. We are currently waiting on terraforming. Mars is probably going to take at least until 2090 to be terraformed based on the current rate. New Harmony is going to take until 2075 to be terraformed. So there's a lot of work that we need to do elsewhere. And we're building a lot of ships at the moment. So let's get right into the episode and let's give it a go. I've also been pulling off our frigates and replacing them with light attack crafts. So these light attack crafts have got to 4,000 tons, have 16 missile launchers. So less missiles overall than the frigates by quite a bit. However, they are larger missiles and they are more easily to build and replace relative because there's less of them. The purpose of this is to provide better system defense against small attacks and also to have faster ships that can actually deal with stuff a little bit easier. So that's what we're going to be looking at doing. We're building more of them. We'll be replacing more frigate garrisons. And in fact, I'm going to start scrapping old frigates, I think, because we need to rethink what the frigate means in our navy, realistically speaking, I think. So we're going to actually begin scrapping. So I'm going to go over here to the San Martin, and I'm going to begin scrapping old frigates. So we're going to be scrapping the Katana, Knife, Stave, and Uzi, and we are going to go over here to... With that scrapping done, wind defense platforms, doing this. We're going to go over here to this. I'm going to upgrade this by 2,000 tons. To 2074. We're going to add the capacity to the frigate shipyard and potentially design a frigate class vessel. I still need to think of what that will be, relatively speaking. Our ground force is almost done as well, and then we're going to start building replacements to replace some of the losses, and then we're going to start moving some stuff around because right now, if we look, New Earth currently has a division protecting it. But we're going to need to obviously spread out those divisions elsewhere. And we're going to have the 4th Colonial, or not Colonial, the 1st Army Corps do that. And then we're also going to have to build more Army Corps, of course. There's a lot that we need to do ground forces-wise to actually build up. But I'm actually relatively happy with it. Alright, defense platforms are in place. Now, that's not really the exact thing I wanted. But these are now in orbit of it, at relatively close range. Anything that comes through, anything that comes around, we'll be able to shoot that comes through Luton. And I'm going to set these up correctly so that they will resupply at Dionysus as needed. The UES Falx, Campilan, and Tsurugi Arumi have been completed. So those are the 4 new Orion class vessels. We can order immediately another 4 to be built. So that will go into 1st Fleet Shipyard. The Makuatl, the Shayovana, the Claymore, and the Xiphos. So we're going to set these up into groups now. So we're going to have, I think, 4 destroyers per group. Yeah, 4 destroyers per group. And then we're going to have cruisers in squadrons of 3. And then destroyers will be attached as needed. The cruiser destroyer squadron idea is going to probably be just be replaced completely. So we're going to put this under Task Force 1. So I have a special mission for the UES Falx. We're going to detach the UES Falx. We're going to go over to its ammunition supplies. And we're going to go to Ordnance. And I'm going to load inside of it the mine canisters. So 48 mine canisters. We're going to have it replace its ordnance. And then we're going to go and be mining some areas for defensive purposes. So we have 48 mine canisters now on location. We're going to think about where we're going to mine first. Now, I'm thinking we are going to mine Altair up to here. Papucci. Sirius, for now. Obviously, we'll extend the fences up to here, but this is kind of our core worlds. So, Altair, Sirius, Papucci. Delta Carinae here. And do that. Okay, that's what we'll do. So, we're going to go to Altair. And I'm going to go to Zelaporus jump point. Just to make sure you have enough range, right? Yeah, you got 30 billion kilometers. A lot better than the previous destroyers. So, the UES Falx has arrived on the Zelaporus jump point, and we will now deploy our mines. These are also are basically buoys as well, so they kind of detect anything incoming in there. Okay, that's the first 8 mines deployed, which is great to see. So the idea is we kind of create a cave, not concave, but a concave around here. That these mines are a little bit closer, they will hit first. These mines are a little bit closer, they will hit first, and then they will retarget as needed, essentially. At least that's the plan. So we're going to do waypoint 10, waypoint 8, waypoint 6. I'm going to rethink this and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, that's good enough. So those are all the mines deployed. Not as many as I wanted. But we have a total of 48 mines here that have been deployed, and they will target anything that comes through that jump point. And also, obviously, now we have detection of anything that comes through the jump point. So they kind of do a double shift for us, both being better for buoy situations, so being detecting things that are coming through, and also destroying anything that does come through that is an issue. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go and load ordnance back at Earth and refuel, and then we're going to continue to do those, and I'll do those at our colonial intersections as needed. Okay, our 60,000 ton shipyard is ready to go. We aren't yet done with the hangar deck, so we can't yet design the ship. Before that, we also will have to design all the other subsequent systems for it. So we're a bit ways out for that. We do have our new jump drive coming online though soon, which is always a good thing to see. So very happy to see that, of course. Now, we do have a problem, is that once we take the fight to Herschel, we're going to need to stabilize up to here. So I'm actually going to order the Hyperion. Where is it? Yes, I'm going to order the Hyperion to go to Altair, go to Luton Star, and start stabilizing back to Altair. Because we will take the fight to the aliens. That is for damn sure. We will take the fight to the aliens. We just need enough ships to be able to do it. We've been able to move over maintenance facilities to Sagittari, so we're going to get those resupplied and sorted out. New Dunning as well. We're moving over fuel for this. Then we also need to move maintenance facilities over. And Polaris is again continuing to grow, though we are going to need to ship in new maintenance supplies to both of those, which I will do. I also want to have a look. Let me just finish construction of some stuff. At how the UES Minotaur and UES Euclid's Anvil are doing. So you are currently not very far into your mission. You're in orbit of New Earth. Also speaking, you are 2.25. What's that? Months or years? I presume that's years. You're 2.25 years into your duties above Dunning Colony. We'll get you replaced, obviously, rotated out as needed. 4 new Casca class light attack crafts are done and ready to enter service. We're going to order 4 more of them to be built immediately. New Harmony auction levels have reached the required amount, so now all we need to do is add in the nitrogen. So we're going to add in 0.32 nitrogen to the atmosphere. And that should balance it out because we need a safe level of about 30% oxygen. So right now it's pure oxygen, which is not breathable for human beings. And so we're going to bring that down, and that should lower the colony cost as needed. That will again take probably 3 years-ish, as we can see here. In fact, we're going to see if we can assign a governor to that. Let me go over to here, and let me go to my administrators. Terraforming. You can be assigned to New Harmony. And that should increase terraforming rates by 25%. I would hope it does, because I can't tell. Unless it doesn't show up here. Well, it's assigned. They're assigned anyway, so we'll see. Military joint drive completed. We're now researching the engine for our new survey class cruiser, which will be the Aegean. And they'll be able to continue our survey efforts further and further and further afield. Now, of course, I am trying to move fuel and supplies further and further and further out because I want to ensure that we can actually survey further, but also ensure that we can maintain stuff further out as well. I also want to turn Polaris into a second kind of military base / stronghold. It's only 4.6 billion kilometers away, but it's a lot closer to these areas, relatively speaking, than Sol is. And I'd like to direct power to this side of the galaxy. While someone like Sagittari, that can be a military outpost, and Kruger also, I want to be able to deploy more forces than just a light system patrol capability. We're very close now to finishing up our ground forces. 11 more forces to go, and then we're going to get our marine security platoons for all of our ships, and then probably start building surface orbit weapons as well. So still a lot to do ground forces wise, but that's about 1.2 million forces that we built. And then we're also going to need, of course, replacements for everything else. So, research for our Gene-class survey cruiser has completed, so we're going to begin to retool our shipyard for that vessel. So we're going to go ahead and go over here. We're going to retool. That will be completed by the end of the year, on 3rd of December, 2072. So we'll be waiting ahead for that one. Electronic countermeasures are completed, so let's go ahead and begin research into something else. I'm thinking either beam fire control or tracking, because that next level of ECCM is 10,000, which is pretty significant. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go for trying to improve our beam fire control range, because we're going to need that for our planned bigger crafts. They're going to have longer range and heavier firepower, that's for sure. Okay, New Dunning now has fuel and maintenance supplies, which is good to see. We're going to send back the UES Exodus. So let me go over here, UES Exodus. And I want to have you head back to Seoul, move to location. In terms of fuel supplies on Seoul, we are kind of running again low. I want to get a better tug and then move our fuel stations elsewhere. Because right now, our first fuel harvesters are mining supposedly 63 million litres of fuel a year, which I don't believe. And we're going to need to get these all moved over because we have 24 of them. Now, I am going to move one of them over because we have that in the fuel shipyard. Tracks to the Beowulf and then send that over to the stationary fuel harvesters, please. But yeah, we're going to get that moved, hopefully. 2 new Spanish-class cruisers completed, the Kuwait and the Netherlands. Perfect to see that. And we're going to go ahead and build the last 2 that we're going to have for now, unless we need to build even more. So we're going to go for the Poland and Moldova, and those will be done in 2074, and those 2 vessels will be obviously finishing up our 3x3 cruiser force. To remind you, our cruisers are these. This is our cruiser vessel, quite heavily armored relative for us, 24-month deployment time, 30 billion kilometer range, 4 plasma carronades for primary beam armament, 20 normal or reloadable launchers at size 8, CUS defensive systems, as well as a decent sensor suite on top, and a marine security platoon, as well as a detection craft on board for longer range scouting operations. And also sitting at 30,000 tons, so quite a heavy, not heavy, but large ship. And there is the UES Thermopylae, which is another colonial cruiser ready to go there on ship construction, so UES Philosophy. So I'm going to send her out. So let me go to the shipyard. The Aegis Fates, or the Thermopylae, is ready to go. I actually think we're having some ordnance problems, so let me just check over at Colonial Cruiser. I think when I was messing around with the design, things changed around. I'd like you to use the Mark IVs, please. And I'd like you to replace your ordnance at Colony, and then we're going to have you head over. So currently the Minotaur is orbiting New Dunning. You are orbiting 99 Seti, orbiting New Earth for reference. So we're going to order the Thermopylae to, I think... Let me think here. We just established this jump point, so we're going to be doing that jump point up to here. 99 Seti is over in this location. Is there any other place we want to colonize? There definitely is. There's definitely places we want to colonize, but there's not any areas that we have colonies currently on that I want to provide that immediate support to. There's quite a lot of water vapor in this atmosphere. That should be condensing into liquid. I mean, this is relatively, like, we could get this breathable relatively easily. It wouldn't be too hard because we wouldn't need that much oxygen supply, but it's a big planet. I think what we're going to do is we're going to keep this in reserve for now. And we're going to look to colonize, say, some of these worlds, for example, because, like, we have an abundance of worlds we can colonize. What we don't have at the moment is the people and the infrastructure to move them as efficiently as I would want, nor stabilize. So we're going to keep that in reserve for now, and we're going to work on some of the stuff instead. Okay, with maintenance facilities now done, we are going to, I mean, construction factories are kind of going ahead well, which is nice to see. What I would like to do, however, is restart research facility production, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that. And so I'm actually going to start building automated mines, and I'm going to build as many of those as I possibly can get my hands on. Now, someone would say that's a waste, but I don't think it is. If we can increase our production rate, we can increase our mining rate. Because we have, as you can see, 170,000 tons of corundium in stockpile. We have a lot of corundium, so we can afford to spend big. The issue with higher cost installations is they take longer to build. And neutronium, we are in short supply of. So that's kind of where we're at in terms of that. Now, I'm going to start construction on 2 Aegean-class vessels. So these are going to be the first 2 new vessels to be deployed. So we're going to go ahead and build the UES Loch Ness and the UES Nile. And those are going to be completed 2074, so in 2 years' time. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and we're going to scrap the old Aegean class, or the old Achilles class vessels, because we no longer need them. Okay, we're completely switching to mining production 14 tons now. That should see a big uplift in production. Yeah, 5,000 tons extra is now being produced on Mars. And we are also going to see uplifts in production across the board. So if you look at Empire mining, that should start increasing as much as possible. Mars mine 2,000 tons of uranium, or neutronium, so decent neutronium mining. We're mining nearly 10,000 tons of corundium and mining an absolute crap ton of uranium at the moment, as well as gallicite. But a lot of our gallicite is coming from other colonies, like Vesta, like Polaris, like some of the other stuff. So we got a mining colony obviously on Vesta. Vesta's mining some resources. However, I think that we still need to up our production, obviously, because we only have 44,000 tons of neutronium. And we need to get as much of that neutronium back as possible. 2002 has also started producing a decent amount of resources. Again, we're going to start flooding in automated mines to there to start mining that neutronium out and ship it back to Earth as much as we can. However, that is a good research to have being completed. I'm going to go ahead and start researching to shipbuilding rate. Because we're going to need to go for a massive expansion of the Navy as we begin to expand further and further outwards. 4 more Orion class vessels are completed, so that puts our numbers, if we have a look here, that gives us 4 more Orion classes. We still have the Spain class vessels. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. You are at Earth. You need to load the ordnance. But no, we have 4, 8. That gives us 12 total destroyers. We're going to build another 4. Once we have 24 destroyers and 6 cruisers, I'm going to initiate Operation Murder the aliens in Herschel. But until that point, we are not going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and build the UES Gunto, the Great Sword Piando Nando. What the hell are those names? But yeah, so those will be done. So by 2074, we're going to have 16 destroyers, and what's that going to be? 6 cruisers? We have 2 cruisers that, yeah, we'll have 6 cruisers done, which is a lot, generally speaking. So we'll have squadrons of 4 destroyers each, and those will be able to protect guard, and then we'll also have the cruisers, of course, as well. UES Faults and Bleed Orders, orbiting Earth. Actually, that is a good point. How many missiles do we have available at the moment? Not enough. What are we currently building? We're building Mark 4 DDs as well as the other ones. Cancel production of the frigate ones. I want 100% production, or at the very least 90% production into this. And I want more ordnance factories to be completed. We're currently waiting on spaceports to be built. And we're also waiting on automated mines. I'm going to cancel the automated mines for now, and I'm going to begin construction of more ordnance factories. I want an extra 100 ordnance factories to be constructed as quickly as possible. In terms of gallicite, we are mining a relatively decent amount of gallicite. I'm about 6,000 tons per annum, which is not too bad, but it's not great either because we are depleting through that. But our neutronium, duranium, corbamite, boronide, renderite, and corundium and iridium stockpiles are all going up. So overall, like, our economy is improving, and that's always nice to see. Complete research into True Transport Base Standard. So this will allow us to board enemy crafts, which is always nice to see. What I'm now going to do is we're going to do some fun stuff. I'm going to ask for my biological and scientists to begin looking into genome sequencing. We are going to do some special ops stuff, is what I'll say. Special ops stuff indeed. Okay, Mars, terraforming report. Mars has now reached the necessary temperature it required to. So it has a maximum temperature of 19 degrees in the summer and a minus 7.1 degrees in the winter. So now we're going to add in oxygen. We need 0.1 oxygen added. This will take us 4 years-ish. That will take 4 years. And then we will need to add in water vapor. And that's going to take 10 years. So we're still about 15 years off a terraformed Mars, but we should have Mars terraformed by the year 2100, which is a 60-year process, but so far has been pretty good. that sounds like we've completed our army core. 920,000 forces right there. All the divisions are complete, and so what I'm now going to do, first off, we are going to keep training up those marine battalions, but I'm going to buy the force reserve. What's the cost? Cost 6,000, so not that much. 158,000 tons. So I'm going to delete that task first. And I'm going to go down here and I'm going to create task. And we're going to do, I don't know, 85% here. Force reserve. And then can I get some security platoons? So we're going to go ahead and create 15%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24. Get those built. Now, give me... what was my freighters doing here? Let's have a look. So you are... ready to go. We don't have that spaceport done. We got the sector command, we got the naval headquarters finishing up. The military academies that we're moving around. In fact, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this military academy to Mars. So we're going to get people starting to be trained on Mars, and we're going to start diversifying it out, because then we can have specialists on different planets, and that can provide us some significant benefit. So yeah, this is the manufacturing issue. There are 37 million people working in manufacturing only. It's kind of difficult, but we are starting to now add in that auction, which is good. New Harmony, however, will be done relatively soon. We just have to get that under 30%, and then this will be a fully colonized world. Polaris has been growing quite significantly, and its mining has picked up definitely, which is good to see. So in a lot of ways, I'm pretty happy with the way that we're going at the moment. It's just going to take obviously some time. UES Charon, I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's completed. That's another Aegis Fate class cruiser. We're going to build another one as well, and then we're probably going to halt that production for now. Fate Scorching completed Earth, so Mars should now have a military academy. Oh, they don't. It's 500,000 total, so we're actually going to move another one. So go ahead, do military academy, move that over to Mars, and then refill for me, please. More aardvarks, so these are going to be needed especially for our colonization efforts. Not colonization, of operational efforts elsewhere. Fate Squadron complete orders, which is good. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to here. We're going to grab a scientist on Mars. Actually, no, we're going to train administrators on Mars, I think. Give me a civilian admin, academy commandant, and give me someone who is good at mining. Wait. Wealth creation, mining. Someone who's good for mining but is not able to actually serve. You seem perfect. Assign you as commandant on Mars. And they'll be able to hopefully train up new civilian administrators, which are in desperate supply. So that's what we'll be doing. So we're building this force reserve. That'll be done on 13th April 2074, and then we'll be able to start replacing losses that we did take, of course. Just to be clear, on New Earth, we have this division, 198,000 tons, which is fine. So pretty much full strength as required. So this division is completely fine. This division is damaged. This division is damaged. These divisions should not be damaged. Why are you only 187,000 tons? So you must have taken some damage. Ah, yes, you were the second division we dropped. My bad. That makes sense. Okay. We now have a jump point into it. Now, the issue is that we can't really stabilize the other side unless we secure it first, because there's an enemy fleet in there. In terms of actual operational capability that we have, we, of course, still have Basilisk-class vessels with light cruisers available. And we have our destroyers that are available as well. However, we are in a bit of a bind because we still need a lot more destroyers completed, and also ordnance-wise. Now, we are starting to build more. However, a lot of our ordnance is older, and I'd rather not bring old ordnance into the battlefield. But we will see. We will definitely see. Researchers hangar that completed. I will be making a carrier for next episode, which we'll be able to go over. But logistically speaking, I now want us to begin researching into on maintenance supply production. How is fuel on Earth? Not doing great. So actually, we're going to redesignate research into construction and production efforts to improve shipbuilding, and then followed by shipbuilding, we're going to go for 56,000 litre fuel production. And that might be something we actually want to start building out ourselves, actually. And yeah, we're moving automated mines away from here and moving them to there. Capacity. 113,000 tons, average 322,000. One more class vessels complete. This is our light attack crafts: Crusader, Racer, Firestarter, and Infiltrator. We're going to go ahead and again build 4 more of those vessels and get them built into the CMA as needed. So we are doing a massive build up at the moment, and not all of our ships are being sent to the front line as expected. So keep that in mind. Something that I have been meaning to do though is I need to send the Falcons under command of James Fallis to we're going to go to Luton Star, actually. That's a 30-day journey. And we're going to go to Herschel. Go to location. And we're going to mine that point. Assuming you have ordnance to do so. Yes, you have ordnance to do so. Correct. And we have enough fuel now on these ships to be able to go back and forth, which is always nice. But to engage in combat, we will need to bring replenishment ships. Which means we also will need fuel supplies to be able to be increased, which is, of course, a bit of an issue. And now we are producing fuel on planets, and we're also producing fuel elsewhere, but we need new tugs, ideally speaking. We're currently waiting on this yard to be increased to a point where we can start to build those new tugs. Okay, New Harmony should be fully terraformed at this point. Yes, it is. Okay, let's go. We're going to stop adding gas to the atmosphere. New Harmony is a subarctic world because the temperature is a little bit too low, but it will warm up. You might want to try and warm that up on the other end, but it's fine. However, it's now fully colonizable, which is perfect. We are actually going to stop colonization on Polaris, at least for now, and want to focus on getting colonists out to New Harmony. Start mining some of the resources located on the world, and start producing fuel in situ, which is going to be important. We also need to get some maintenance supplies moved over. You need to check all of our maintenance capabilities elsewhere. Fuel supplies to Sagittari, and yes. Okay, so let me get our replenishment ships. Resupply, please, and go to transfer maintenance supplies. Back to Sol. Resupply, transfer maintenance supplies to Sirius. And then head back to Sol and refuel. So that should get them sorted, and then we need to transfer fuel to Sagittari. There we go. And that's our logistical situation completed. I need to check how much fuel we'll actually need for our planned combat. Yeah, New Harmony, you're good. And that's our first ever terraformed world. And so now that can grow as much as possible, and that's 53% manufacturing, and we can now increase the number of mines going to that world. And in fact, what I'm going to do is just that. So I have 2 squadrons here. I have all of these squadrons, so we're actually going to attach all of them together. We're going to load up mines and take them. So we have 750,000, 25,000 each, which means we can move approximately to quite a few. I got my math in my head's not doing correctly. So we're going to go ahead to Sirius, and we're going to unload those installations onto New Harmony and head back to Sol and refuel supply. I'm going to repeat this, I would say, about 4 times total, and that'll take 920 days. But that'll deliver more mines, more jobs, more people making resources for the for Earth, and bringing those resources back to Earth, more importantly. Research tracking stations done. We're going to increase the number of mines we're producing, 15%. And we also, again, still building those construction factories out, 15,300 build points per thing. We'll have those 2 cruisers done shortly, as well as the Aegeans done in 2074, which we're currently in. I think that's where we're going to be leaving the episode off. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe. Really, really does help me out. And yeah, I think next episode we'll be taking the fight to the enemy with our new fleet. 24 cruisers, 24 destroyers, 6 cruisers, and whatever else we're going to add in. Maybe some of the old Manticore class vessels and other vessels that are available. I will see you guys next time, as I said. Thank you for watching.